Hello all, welcome to the program Know Your Government by Ekam IAS, an initiative where a government scheme is picked upon, elaborated on its content and is followed by a question which is in line with the UPSC pattern. Today we will look into a scheme which was launched a little earlier by the government, and that is something which is known as Samavesh initiative. Now, what is this? This is a program which was launched by Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog has launched this program. Samavesh basically means inclusion, and it signifies an approach to extend knowledge to all, especially the most deprived communities. So an initiative where the knowledge institutions in our nation are also made a part to come together to play a role in terms of the policy developmental aspect is one of the key initiative of this Samavesh program. Now, this includes institutions of excellence in national development initiatives linking policy and practice. So, the institutions of excellence, those institutions which are of prominent status in our country to come together and play a role in terms of the developmental initiatives which has been spearheaded by the Niti Aayog, as well as playing a role in terms of the linking up of policies to the actual practices is something which has been the whole purpose of this Samavesh initiative. Now, how is it going to happen? To link together various lead knowledge and research institutions. So, linking together various lead knowledge and research institutions to catalyze developmental process. So, they are going to play a key and pivotal role in the developmental process. One, now enhancing the institutional capacity development, because this is now going to act as a consortium where different lead institutions are coming together and playing a role in terms of developments. So obviously the Niti Aayog's competency too would be enhanced upon in this entire process, and as well as enable a field level interface with the community for mutual enrichment. So these key institutions are also going to have an interaction with the community part or with the local communities as well to get key vital inputs, so that in effect the policy linkage with the R&D support of these institutions are going to make a good impact to the common people of our country is one of the key objective of Samavesh program. Now, Niti Aayog seeks to deepen and extend its institutional capacity. So, deepening up of Niti Aayog institutional capacity through networking and partnerships with reputed knowledge and research institutions to create an ecosystem of evidence-based policy research. How? Because the institution, they are going to play a role in terms of the R&D part, and with the local interactions with the communities as well, they are going to get practical scenarios and practical evidences upon how things are happening in our nation. So, an integration of both is something which has been envisaged through this Samavesh initiative. Now, this was a program which was launched a little old in 2017 by Niti Aayog. Now, this network, so this network of the institutions will enable efficient knowledge sharing and information. So, obviously all the key players are coming together to play a role, and they are going to play a role in terms of the efficient knowledge sharing and information. One, among all partners. Now, another thing is the education institutions are also going to play a pivotal role in transformative policy reforms. How? Because they are going to come up and support Niti Aayog so that the future policies for our nation are designed with a well-thought support system and a well-thought paradigm is again something which is going to happen because of this initiative. Then, among all partners to fulfill their role in transformative policy reform so as to achieve sustainable and more inclusive development. So, as a result of this entire activity, sustainable goals to be achieved and an inclusive development of all the sections of the society is also something which is going to happen as a process of this. And in line with that, the Niti Aayog's key major objectives of, they were having a 15-year vision, that is in another 15 years, this is what India needs to achieve, and that is followed by a 7-year strategy and a 3-year action plan. 15-year vision, 7-year strategy and 3-year action plan which the Niti Aayog was having in terms of clear-cut developmental aspect of our nation. That too is now going to get a big boost because of this initiative. Now, let us now see what are all the key objectives of this program. First one is to deepen NITI's institutional capability. To deepen or strengthen NITI Aayog's institutional capability. How? NITI's institutional capability for an ecosystem of evidence-based policy research through networking and partnership with reputed institutions would definitely, in the process, enhance NITI Aayog's institutional capability. One. Second thing is enable institutions to fulfill their role. Apart from educating the students which are approaching the institution, education institutions are also now getting a role in terms of making an active strategic thought in the societal development of our nation. So they are also now getting the opportunity to play a pivotal role in terms of the policy decision aspect of our nation through linkage with NITI Aayog is the benefit for them. Third one is promote knowledge sharing and information sharing, especially for a nation like India to move from the developing tag to the developed tag which we are aspiring for to be achieved in another decade or so. The integration of different technological element as well as the knowledge sharing which is with different institutions and entities need to come together so that our larger objective is being achieved. So that is again something which is being envisaged under this one. So deepening NITI Aayog's institutional capability is the first objective. Enable institutions to fulfill their role is the second one, and third one is to promote knowledge sharing and information sharing among the concerned parties. Now, catalyze development and capacity. So in this process, the overall objective is to enhance upon the developmental part is something which is the key pivotal aspect involved in this one. Last but not least is to link policy with practice. Link policy with practice. How? By enabling a field level interface with the community for mutual enrichment. Institutions are going to interact with the community through which they are going to get vital input from the community. So was the communities too are now getting a privilege where they are getting to interact and learn from key and reputed institutions of our nation. Now, what are all the areas, some of the cluster groups or themes which has been identified to focus upon the developmental part involves? One is the economic transformation. So the policy part in terms of the economic transformation. Now, area transformation, a local area or an area's development is something which has been involved in this one. Natural resources and environment is the third component. Social sector, science and technology, governance reforms as well as defense and security. I'll repeat it once more. One is economic transformation. Second one is the local area transformation or the local area's developmental too. Natural resources and environment is the third one. Social sector, science and technology, governance reforms as well as defense, studies and security to contribute and come together and think together in all these sections or sectors. Development is something which has been happening through this program. Now, what are all the outcomes of the partnership which has been envisaged under this one? Outcomes would involve capacity development because expert advisory groups or the institutions would coming together and giving their inputs would obviously enhance the NITI Aayog's capacity development is one of the outcome which has been expected because of this initiative. 7-year strategy and 3-year action plan, because to come up with the best practices which has been followed across the nation. Now, best practices which they would suggest that to NITI Aayog saying that in terms of a policy decision making, these are all some things which has been even happening in an international level. So all those things would club together and combine in giving a better policy decision making aspect to the NITI Aayog too. Third one is mentoring and outreach, because these vital institutions coming together to play a role in terms of the mentoring of the institution, mentoring and outreach of the people. And last but not least is the social mobilization, because public campaign on one priority, mobilize faculty, students and society. Public campaign, mobilizing faculties and students etc. so that a social mobilization too happening is some of the key vital aspects involved in this one. Now, they have identified close to 32 institutions which are being identified under this initiative at that point of time. So, probably we don't have to go and study the names of all those institutes, but have a fair idea that this initiative or Samavesh program is an initiative where the institutions are getting aligned in line with the NITI Aayog's ambit, so that they are also going to play a pivotal role in terms of the development of our people. With this background, let us see a question. With reference to Samavesh, which of the statements given below is or are correct? First one, this is an initiative majorly aimed at ensuring social equality and prevent caste-based discrimination for admissions in educational institutions. So, developmental part is involved in Samavesh, but the major focus of Samavesh initiative is not to focus upon the caste discrimination part or to focus upon the social inequality, and in terms of ensuring that a fair admission has been happening in an educational institution. That is not its key objective, as we have seen, which is making the first statement wrong. Second statement is, this is an initiative by Niti Aayog. Yes, that's what we have seen. Niti Aayog is the body which is spearheading this initiative, which is making the second statement true. So, statement 1 wrong and statement 2 right is giving us the right answer as option B, 2 only. Thank you so much.